on my thoughts on climate change. He told me his thoughts on climate change, his thoughts on climate justice. And then he basically encouraged me to stop all other forms of commercial music and only focus on creating music on things that I feel strongly about, which in my case was the environment. So when the Prime Minister of your country gives you some advice, you're going to take it seriously, right? So then when I left his office, that is when I decided that every single piece of music that I make, every single piece of music that comes out of my head, comes off my fingers, or comes out of my studio is going to be about the environment, about raising awareness on climate change, raising awareness on various issues with regard to social impact. And that is what started off a new journey of mine. And after that, I won another 2 Grammy Awards, so it was good.
Before skipping to my next question, I just want to hear it from you. How does it feel to have a Padma and also 4 Grammy? Like, is your house full of awards now?
So the thing is that when we make art and when we make music, the thought should never, ever be to actually win awards. Because if the thought is to win awards, then your music and your art will be adulterated. Because you will not make it from the heart. So it's very important to make your music completely from the heart, completely unadulterated, exactly the way that you want it to be. Once you complete the music, then you take off the creator hat and you put on the marketing hat, you know. So that is what you need to do. Because once the music is complete exactly the way you want it to be, unadulterated, then you can start marketing your music. So a lot of people say that, oh, I don't like awards. Awards don't matter. Of course, the award should not dictate the creative process of making your music. But at the same time, if you win an award for creating your music, you should take it with a lot of pride, and you should also take it with a lot of humility, simply because that award gives you a platform. You know, it gives you a platform for doing bigger and better things, for more and more people to take you seriously, for you to collaborate with other musicians that you've always wanted to collaborate with. And in my case, since all of my music has got a message, either environmental or positive social impact, the message is also important, and these awards and these platforms help me spread that message further and wider. So I guess that is the reason, because before I won my first Grammy Award, when I would talk about the environment, some people would take me seriously, some people would not take me seriously. But then after I won that first Grammy Award, a lot more people started taking me seriously. And it's the same with the Padma Award. Yeah. I consider that to be the greatest honor of my life, because the Grammy Awards is given based on a particular project or a particular song that you've done in that particular year. But the Padma Awards is an award from my own country, so it feels amazing to get an award from my own country. And also, more importantly, the Padma Award is given for the entire career, you know, and your entire life. So it is easily the biggest honor that I've ever had. And I will obviously live up to it, and it has encouraged me to do bigger and better work.
As you were speaking about the country, ಈ ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಆಂಥಮ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಅನ್ಫಾರ್ಚುನೇಟ್ಲಿ ಎಂಥ ಸಮಾಜದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಥಿಯೇಟರ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಆಂಥಮ್ ಹಾಕ್ಬೇಕಾ ಬೇಡವಾ ಅನ್ನೋದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆನೂ ಕೂಡ ಚಕಾರ ಎತ್ತೋರಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಚರ್ಚೆ ಮಾಡೋರಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಬಟ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಸೆಲೆಬ್ರೇಟಿಂಗ್ ದ ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಆಂಥಮ್ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್ ವೈಡ್. ಸೊ ವೈ ಇಸ್ ದಟ್? ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಆಂಥಮ್ ಅನ್ನ, ನಮ್ಮ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ಗೀತೆಯನ್ನ ಪ್ರಪಂಚದಾದ್ಯಂತ ಕೇಳಬೇಕು, ಹಾಗೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಜನ ಸಂಭ್ರಮಿಸೋ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಈ ಥಾಟ್ ಬಂದಿದ್ದು ಹೇಗೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ?
So for me, the national anthem is obviously extremely, extremely important. It's my favorite tune in the world, and also the first piece of music that I ever learnt as a child. The first piece of music that I ever played on a keyboard was the Indian national anthem. And I've created multiple versions of the national anthem across the years. In fact, a year and a half ago, I had the opportunity to actually conduct the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra, 100-piece orchestra in Britain, actually performing the national anthem. So that was a beautiful experience, because there was a lot of subtext over there. Because, you know, me, an Indian composer, conducting 100 of the finest and the best musicians of the UK, performing the Indian national anthem after they've ruled us for over 200 years. So that was a beautiful experience. But yeah, coming to your question, I believe that, I mean, I think it was a very, very good move to actually play the national anthem before movie theaters, in movie theaters, because you obviously cannot play the national anthem on radio, because when you're listening to the radio, you're sometimes sitting down in the car. You cannot stand up in the middle while you're driving and all of that. Same thing, like, you know, sometimes you're listening to the radio while you're cooking, or same thing where you're watching television, not as a captive audience. But in a movie theater, there's a big screen, there is a beautiful sound system, and you are a captive audience because you come over there to actually watch the screen. You're definitely awake, at least in the beginning of the movie. And so basically, I believe that that is the best place to play the national anthem, simply because you've got that sound system, you've got that visuals, you've got a community around you, you've got people around you. So basically, it's a very good place to actually play the national anthem, and I would encourage this to happen more and more, simply because I think we constantly need a reminder that we are Indian and we need to do a lot more for our country. And and in fact, whatever we can do within our own tiny capacities, we need to do for building our beautiful country.
Superb. I think ಆ ಮಾತಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ಜೋರ ಚಪ್ಪಾಳೆ ಬರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಿ. ಅಂಡ್ ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಫಾರ್ ದ ಆಡಿಯನ್ಸ್. ಈ ರೀತಿ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಚಪ್ಪಾಳೆ ತಟ್ಟಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಬೇರೆ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಗಮನಿಸಿದ್ವಿ. ನಮ್ಮ ಸ್ಪೀಕರ್ಸು ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಜೋಶಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತನಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಅರ್ಥಗರ್ಭಿತವಾಗಿ ಮಾತನಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ಆಡಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಕೂಡ. ಅಂಡ್ ಮೂವಿಂಗ್ ಅಹೆಡ್, ನೀವು ದೇಶದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತನಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರಿ, ಬಟ್ ನೀವು ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶದ ಕಲೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅರ್ಥಾತ್ ಸಂಗೀತ ಹಾಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿನ ಪರಂಪರೆಯನ್ನ, ಕಲ್ಚರ್ ಅನ್ನ ಗ್ಲೋಬಲ್ ಆಡಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಗೆ ಕೇಟರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಿ. ಬಟ್ ಸ್ಟಿಲ್ ನೀವು ಗ್ಲೋಬಲ್ ಆಡಿಯನ್ಸ್ ನ ಗಮನದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಇಲ್ಲಿನ ಕಲ್ಚರ್ ನ ಎಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಬಿಟ್ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಹೆಂಗ್ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಿ ಇದನ್ನ ಅಂತ?
I guess it's because of how I am as a person. I guess I'm Indian, whatever. That I've lived in India since the time I was 6 years old. I'm 44 right now, so what's the maths? I've been here for about 38 years, and pretty much my entire life. So whatever I am is because I am Indian. My music knowledge, my music education, everything has happened in India. So so basically, there is no way for me to make music that is not Indian in its essence. If I have to give you an example, let's say, if we have a let's say if you have a person, like an Indian person, who is a very, very good cook, and that person is cooking for their family, and they're making a pasta. They would make the best possible pasta, looking at MasterChef and looking at all of these recipes, and make something that is authentically Italian. But just before the plate comes to the table, the dining table where the family is sitting down, there'll be a little bit of red chili powder thrown in and a little bit of turmeric powder thrown in. So basically, because that's how we are as Indian, that's how our palate is. And it's the same thing with me, with my musical sense, that even if I try to make something that is entirely Western, by the time the song is finished, or by the time the piece of music is finished, there will be a lot of Indianness in it, because that's how I am.
Superb. Before I conclude the session, I know you play a lot with your instruments, but if you allow me to be selfish for a moment, ಒಂದು ಹಾಡಬೇಕು rickykej ಅವರು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ.
No, I'm seriously saying that won't be possible, simply because whatever few fans that I have, I'll lose them. I will lose them. So I'm not at all a singer. I'm only a backing vocalist. So I would prefer just to be a background vocalist. So thank you so much.
Thanks. One or two lines?
Absolutely not. But I can say something. Basically, there's a song that I had composed music for. This is a couple of years back, which Jogi was a part of, which was written by the late, great H.S. Venkatesh Murthy, who I absolutely deeply admired. One of the greatest poets to ever live in our world. And I had the opportunity to work with him on 2 songs. One of them was called Jaya He Kannada Taye, which I perform at a lot of my concerts. So I'd like to say a line, a beautiful two lines that he had actually written in that song as a tribute to him. Kamana billi ee naadu, nana palukina haadu, halaviddaru ole onde ennuva, nam olavina karunadu.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸೋ ಮಚ್. ನಮ್ಮ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ, ಹಾಗೆ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ಘನತೆಯನ್ನ ಮತ್ತಷ್ಟು ಮಗದಷ್ಟು ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ನಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲ ರಿಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಕನ್ನಡದ ವೀಕ್ಷಕರು ಹಾಗೆ ತಂಡದ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಮತ್ತೊಮ್ಮೆ ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸೋ ಮಚ್.